4. Don't worry if you accidentally played the wrong string. The most important thing is to preserve the bass chord alternation. When your aim improves, you'll find you rarely miss or even have to think about alternating the bass notes. Let's try our alternating bass pattern on a simple 2-chord song, Tom Dooley. This, along with Banks of the Ohio, is one of the great so-called murder ballads of folk music that has been terrifying children for generations. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful song made famous by the Kingston Trio version in the early 60s. And if you're too young to remember the 60s, find someone who does, speak directly into their hearing aid, and tell them you're going to learn Tom Dooley. They should smile in faint recognition. Anyway, the 2 chords in this song are D and A7. Let's take a moment to review the chords. D, of course, is played on the top 3 strings with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers, like this. 1st finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. A7 is actually an easier chord to play than regular A major because it uses only 2 fingers. You can play A7 with either your left hand 1st and 2nd fingers or the middle 2 fingers, the 2nd and 3rd. Let's try it now with the middle 2 fingers. Place your 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and place your 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. Strum the top 5 strings from the 5th to the 1st. If you use the 2nd and 3rd finger version of A7, as I'm doing now, you have a finger in common with the D chord, the 3rd finger. To switch from D to A7 then, you leave the 3rd finger on the string, moving it down a fret. Then you just have one new finger to place, the 2nd finger on the 4th string. This gives you an efficiency of movement that will help you switch chords faster. I just love stuff like that. Anything to save a little extra effort, right? The alternating bass notes of the D chord are open D and open A, or the 4th and the 5th strings. For the A7 chord, we'll alternate the open A and the open E strings, or the 5th and the 6th string. So 1 bar of D sounds like this. And 1 bar of the A7 sounds like this. Before we play the song together, just relax a moment and listen to the song up to tempo. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. You can hear how the alternating bass pattern really gives the song drive. Let's try the song together at a slower tempo. The fact that you start off each bar with an open string gives you a little extra time to form the chord. Isn't that humane? Okay, ready on your opening D chord? Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. Did you make that change to the A7 in time? Remember, you can hit the bass note of the new bar while your hand is still forming the chord. Okay, let's try Tom Dooley again, a little faster, and this time we'll do 3 complete verses in a row without stopping in between. Ready on your D chord? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. time tomorrow, reckon where I'll be, down in some lonesome valley, hanging from a white oak tree. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die. Okay, take a break. You're now actually playing full-fledged songs by changing chords in the left hand, keeping a solid rhythm in the right hand, and maintaining a consistent accompaniment pattern through several verses. That's what music is all about, and that's the foundation of all good guitar playing. Up till now, we've used the right hand to strum the guitar, but that's not the only way to set your strings a-singin'. You can also finger-pick the strings without using a pick at all in the technique known as fingerstyle. The essence of fingerstyle is that you play the strings of the guitar individually with the thumb and fingers instead of as a group as you do when strumming with a pick. In this introduction to fingerstyle, we'll look at just a couple of patterns that will give you some exposure to a style of playing that is the basis for classical music and the acoustic styles of Chet Atkins, Paul Simon, and James Taylor. We'll start off with a basic arpeggio pattern. Arpeggio is a musical term for playing the notes of a chord one by one instead of all at once, as you do in a strum. So, for example, instead of playing the boom chick pattern we learned in Lesson 6 with a pick and strum like this, we can get a similar effect by playing this. Let's try just that pattern, slowed down a bit, of course. So grab an A chord in your left hand and take your right hand and just plop your thumb and fingertips on the strings like this. Rest your thumb on the 5th string because that's the string it's going to play. Then take your index finger on the 3rd string, your middle finger on the 2nd string, and your ring finger on the 1st string. Once you're sure you have your hand in position, you might just lightly pluck the strings all at once to get the feel of the motion of your fingers. Notice that your fingers pull up in a pluck rather than brushing down, as in a strum, and the thumb strikes downward. Now, let's try playing the notes individually from the low string to the high string, starting with the thumb. After you pick the note, just let your finger dangle in the air. Don't try to put it back on the string. And don't worry about playing along with me in rhythm yet. Just pluck the 4 strings from the bottom to the top of your A chord, like this. Make sure that when you do that, you're using 4 fingers: thumb, index, middle, and ring. And don't worry if your fingers feel a little shaky or hesitant. This may be a completely new way of moving for them, so if they're a little tentative in their movements, it's quite natural. Let's play this 4-note sequence 4 times in a row without stopping. Try it with me slowly in 8th notes, which means we'll be playing 2 to the beat, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ready? Here we go on the A chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And stop. Did you find you could keep up with me without getting lost? Try accenting or playing louder than usual the thumb notes as a way of keeping track of the pattern. That's the hardest part about playing any kind of fingerstyle pattern. When you get lost or you mess up on a single note, it can be difficult to recover. Let's try it one more time with the accents. Ready on your A chord? 4 times through. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Okay, now we'll try it again, only this time I'll throw in a variation. Instead of playing the same thumb note on the 5th string every time, we'll alternate with the 6th string. So the next time we play the pattern, it will sound like this.